Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of What Gives. We'll spend the next 10 to 15 minutes talking about the future of SMS and everything that we can with our two very special guests here, both Blake and Mahdi of Attentive Mobile. And so before we dive in, we will give them the floor in just a second. For those of you that don't know, Givz sees two huge trends happening in e-commerce right now. First, brands are trying to get away from discounts as much as possible. We'll definitely talk about discounts and SMS and how they work intertwine. But brands are trying to get away from discounts as much as possible. They're also trying to figure out ways to weave in social impact in a genuine and authentic way throughout their brand. And so Givz sits at the nexus of those two trends, allowing brands to convert discounts into donations and run donation-based incentives like you can send a text message that says, hey, this Earth Day, when you purchase from us, you're going to get 20% of your purchase back to give to any environmental charity that you want because we care about you, the consumer, and that's going to be a very high converting text. So with that little bit of background, I want to dive in, and maybe the first question for Mahdi. We have just launched our Givz times Attentive integration. We have two beta testers using this, and actually maybe 3 or 4 now, but this is exciting. So can you share with us a little bit about Attentive, and let's dive into how our integration works and how it's going to benefit merchants.
Sure thing. And thank you, Andrew and Nicole, for having me and Blake over. We're very, very excited with our Givz partnership. I help manage the relationship, and Givz is one of my favorite partners. So Attentive at its core is an SMS first marketing platform. And we help everyone from individual entrepreneurs to large enterprises communicate with their consumers, right? So I'd like to think of us as leaders in the conversational commerce space. But what we're really trying to do is reinvent the way that businesses and consumers communicate with each other. We drive, obviously, billions of revenue for our consumers, and we work with over 5,000 of our leading brands, Urban Outfitters, CB2, Uniqlo. Some of these names might be familiar with you. And we also work, and I think this is the most important thing, with fantastic partners like Givz to build really cool integrations that enhance our product functionality, like the one we just built with Givz. So our integration with Givz actually does a couple of really important things. It allows us to leverage the Givz data to better understand and engage subscribers that a brand has. So you can create these really cool feedback loops from Givz to Attentive and leverage Givz insights to shape your marketing effort, whether it's like you're engaging your subscribers or just simply better understanding them. And I would say the integration does 3 equally awesome things that lead into each other. So the first, we capture critical Givz event. So for instance, somebody made a donation to a cause they care about. We're able to understand that event and push it into Attentive for more personalized messaging. And you'll enable the business actually to create journeys that leverage that data. So if, for instance, we have one of your subscribers donated $10 to an environmental cause, you can use that to engage your subscriber on a level that goes beyond product browsing or beyond their purchase history. And then we also give brands the ability to create dynamic segments using the Attentive and Givz integration. So based on your subscribers' affinities, which is what their attributes are. So if it's somebody who is a repeat donator or somebody who gives to one specific cause more than the other, you're able to personalize your message to such a degree that they really feel that you're talking to them. And I think what's super cool about our integration with Givz is that you can use these segments across the entire Attentive product and platform. So all of our cool functionalities, all of our cool campaigns and automations, these are available, which really gives you a world of opportunities. And it's great for, a couple of reasons. One, it allows you to hyper-personalize your message to your subscribers and incentivize them to make repeat purchases, right? So if the subscriber knows that you are engaging with them on a level beyond, hey, I have this promotion, and hey, I want you to buy this product right now, they're more likely to remember your brand name amongst others. And 2, it provides you with an additional data point. Blake can speak more to this, but a lot of times our brands come to us and they say, hey, I want to understand who my customer is. There are all these technological and privacy updates, and I'm losing touch with who my core audience is. And just because of the nature of the Givz platform, that additional data point gives you a point to connect with the customer in a way that other brands usually don't, right? So again, beyond what you have in their product browsing history or what their purchases are, you're able to build a profile that really understands and engages with them on a social level. So, hey, we know that this is a cause you care about. This also matches with our values as a brand. So we're sending this message to you in a hyper-personalized way, and we want you to understand that we care about what you care about. And this has shown to be obviously very, very popular with a lot of consumers and customers. They like knowing that the places they shop at and the e-commerce stores that are their favorite actually listen to what they care about and engage with them on that level as well.
Amazing. Yes, I couldn't have said it better myself, Ronnie. That was
Yes.
fantastic.
I tried.
I'm pumped. That got me like fired up.
Yeah, I'm excited. No, this is where the future is heading. A lot of consumers and a lot of brands are incorporating social responsibility into their corporate goals and aims, and it's something that customers of today, and not just the millennials or Gen Zs or the usual suspects, but across all demographics, this is the way they're heading. They want to feel that, hey, I'm being valued as an individual, and gives us an undescribable avenue to target those customers and to really engage with them on that level.
I think something I'd add to that too that's really exciting about this integration is that our merchants that we work with really want diversified use cases of like how can we better connect with our customers. Maddie said really well, some of these things that really like getting more data on customers, but also just being able to send texts that really connect in a different way that aren't just promotionally driven, but really thinking about like how can we engage with folks that have affinities to these causes that we're supporting. It's a really exciting time for us to be able to give an additional value to our merchants to be able to better connect with their customers. So I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. And as this gets into the hands, of countless more merchants, I'm really excited to kind of come back and kind of look at where we're at with this integration in a few months, I think too.
Yeah, and with the iOS changes and Google taking away third-party cookies next year, et cetera, brands are scrambling to figure out what about first-party data, right? How do we make sure that we learn about our customers? Every interaction matters more. Increasing lifetime value has just become that much more important with every interaction, increasing basket size, and I think that's something that both SMS, Attentive and Givz do really well, right? And so the match was there. The match was made in heaven a while ago, and we just now have brought it to fruition. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and I actually want to jump in here too, because we have a lot of great use cases with email, of course, in terms of a different narrative outside of discount to build that relationship, and also it just happens to convert really well also. But I would say SMS messaging, and Blake, you can certainly speak to this, but when you sign up for SMS, you're getting it right to your phone. You're opening an unread message, right? It's very personal. So you are literally building this relationship on a very personal level with them, and you don't want them to unsubscribe, right? So I do think that being able to talk to them about things that are close to their heart and close to their behavior is going to be really valuable. And most importantly, when you have that data, you can do it authentically too. And I think that's important.
Yeah, 100%. I think personalization is one of the biggest themes as a business that we're seeing in 2022. And being able to be personalized means having better data on your customer that you can speak directly to them about. And a relationship starts with really understanding, the kind of the needs and wants of a customer. And so like having those kind of things to talk about with them that start great conversations, that's really such a win, I think, when you look at something like this.
Awesome. So a couple questions for you, Blake. Speaking of the whole SMS trend as a channel in general and the future of SMS, how do you see it growing? And we know for sure in talking to brands that it is, and they're also imploring new ways, like how do we incentivize people to sign up for it, and start that channel and start that relationship in that way. Why, in your opinion, why is it becoming so popular?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing SMS, nothing but SMS, for over 6 years now. And so when I think about, with the kind of the starting of Attentive and really where we're at now, I think it's a really fascinating story and how SMS has become like the new owned marketing channel for D2C brands to really leverage. And I think there's really three key factors that I point out that have kind of caused some of this mass adoption. We talked about it, a little bit, earlier, but I mean, some of this data and privacy kind of changes that have happened. It's getting harder to reach consumers on traditional, paid media, email marketing, et cetera. And we are now looking to zero-party data, first-party data for the answer to understand more about our customers, to effectively retarget and be personalized. And SMS is built on really effective data capture. So I'd say that's a big piece of it. I think also, zero-party data, it's kind of like a buzzword, but that's just preference data, what someone actively shares with you. But first-party data being like behavioral interactions. And so like, if Andrew and Nicole, like you're browsing the site and, I understand, okay, you're looking at, this PDP, you're looking at these products, you clicked on this link, that's kind of that data that we want. When it comes to first party data, for example, but these are really the building blocks upon which we can build that personalization strategy. And so really having a channel that can do that effectively and then send messages that, get open, that get engaged, that's a huge kind of piece of why. Also, you look at like just generally consumer trends, mobile commerce, e-commerce has been booming. I don't think I need to say that, I think we all kind of know it, but I think you look at just, we're on our phones more often than ever. I think it's 96 times a day, the average US consumer checks their phone. You look at screen time reports on Apple, you'll probably be pretty amazed at how much you're checking your phone. And so that is a big piece of, we're just on our phones all the time. And I think smartphone adoption has gone up, over 25% in the last decade too. So those are some big pieces of it. And then also, I just think looking to sort of like the need to work with a reliable vendor and partner in Attentive, for example, someone who understands compliance in the space, best practices, how to get up and running, has great integrations, like Attentive and Givz, for example, and really is going to be able to kind of walk you through every step of the way in this new channel that really is now the preferred way to communicate with customers. So I'd say those are some of the things that we're looking at as kind of why SMS has grown so much.
Yeah, I would just add also that this is the way, as Blake said, that consumers expect to be communicated with now. SMS used to be a nice to have, an addition a few years back, but just ever since like the pandemic, since the pandemic started, people have been expecting to do a lot more and carry out a lot more of their day-to-day lives on their phones. So we've seen the behavior on their phones also change. It went from browsing products to actually buying them.
Yeah.
Right. We used to have this habit where you see something on your phone and then you go to your laptop to purchase it. It was a psychological thing. Now people trust their phones because they're powerful. They're like computers, right? And they purchase on there. They expect to get their order and shipping notifications on there. If there's any donation or follow-up message, they expect to get it on there, right? Because that is where they spend most of their day. And so to reach consumers, you need to be where they are, and where they are, as Blake said, is increasingly on their phones. And I think what's one of the beautiful things about SMS is that people only, and this is a universal truth, whether it's in marketing or elsewhere, people only give their numbers to people they want to hear from. So if a subscriber entrusts a brand with their number, they understand that this is an intimate channel. They understand that, hey, I check my phone 96 times a day, or maybe they don't, consciously know that, but they understand that, hey, if a brand sends me a message on this, I will receive it, right? And it will be slotted alongside messages from my close family and friends. And I think that what's so great is that when you're sending these messages and you're engaging with consumers using things like the Givz integration on issues they care about and sending these hyper-personalized message, that they want to hear from you. Just because they gave you that phone number, they entrusted you to communicate with them on this very personal channel. So yeah, I think we are just hitting the tip of the iceberg, as Blake just said, and we really see massive, massive growth in this area and in this mode of communication as more businesses catch on.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I always, the initial SMS pitch was like, hey, whatever your email open rates are, they aren't 98%, which is what the open rate is on text, right? And so that was always just like the no-brainer. Like, you have to be where people are, where they open your messages, they are going to see it, right? By definition, they are going to see it because you have to open up your text. And that color around, yes, your close friends and family are texting you the same exact way a brand is texting you. So you have to open these messages, and it's something that we're excited to start to show up in text as well, and be able to say like, hey, purchase now and get money to give to a charity of your choice. And eventually we'll have the integration where you redeem that $10 that you've earned via text, via SMS through Attentive. So this is really exciting. As we come up on the 15-minute mark, where we've always been asking folks and would love to hear from both of you, productivity hack. What do you guys do to make sure there's so much to do always throughout the day? We love hearing these from folks. Tell us leave us with one little nugget of knowledge here.
Give us your secrets.
Yeah. Blake, do you want to go first? I feel like Blake is the productivity expert here.
I'll try my best. So I work West Coast hours. Everyone's like 3 hours ahead of me, but I'd say, don't take yourself too seriously. I think that this industry, we tend to really be, workaholics. And so it's important to realize this is just a job at the end of the day, but you find the joy in it and you just kind of have fun with it. I think being really playful in how you approach work has always been kind of like a cornerstone for me, and kind of keeping it light. But everyone kind of has their ups and downs, and I think it's just really important to kind of remember, like, this is just meant to be fun. We spend a majority of our life working, and so you need to have fun doing that. So that'd be my I guess advice on how I get through the day.
Oh God, that's a good one. It's going to be hard to follow up.
Yeah,
that is good. That is a good one. We've been listening to a lot of these every week, and that's I really like that.
It's the first time we've heard that one, actually, but I like that a lot.
Yeah. I would say mine would be just a reminder that anybody you talk to is just a person like you, and they have a life going on behind their work. So, sometimes we feel like, oh, if something doesn't get done on time, or we missed a deadline, or this went or that went, just realize that the person on the other side is a human too. They understand people make mistakes. And I think that makes the job, or approaching any job, much, much easier when you realize you're working with people. I know we're just stuck to our screens a lot of times these days, especially with remote work. You don't get to see your coworkers maybe as much as you used to, but just understanding that at the end of the day, behind that screen is another person just like you, who probably has their own stuff going on outside of work, and has their own experiences. I think that just helps a lot, and it makes work more fun. Like Blake said, I think just knowing that, hey, this other person really understands what I'm going through. Let's grab a drink and commiserate about that. I think that just helps level off a lot of the panic that I sometimes see in our industry.
I love this. Now you can tell why we like you guys so much. You guys have such good hearts. We appreciate that.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
It's been awesome. I think we've been scrolling this along the bottom, but you can find more at AttentiveMobile.com. Anywhere else that you guys should be looking? I know it's Attentive Mobile on IG and Twitter as well. Any other spots that they should be looking to find Attentive?
I think the website's a great spot. If you're just looking for resources on SMS, we just have a lot of great free resources to take advantage of, learn about, different things that are happening in the space. Our marketing team is a beast of a machine, and highly recommend you check out some of that stuff that they're putting out.
Agreed. You guys do such a good job.
Yeah, such a good job. Definitely check out their marketing resources. A bunch of free resources on there for you, and then hit up the AttentiveMobile.com, schedule a demo, and get started with them ASAP. And on the Givz side of things, where to find Nicole and I. Our DMs are open, so just hit us up and we'll talk soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,